Settling into the arms of sleep, you awaken in a familiar yet unfamiliar room. Your friend spoke of a beautiful golden dream world, a paradise of light and culture. This is not that. This is a brooding Gothic city of purple and black, with black-shelled citizens teeming its streets. Out beyond the night sky is a great chain, and beyond that an even bigger world beyond the moon you find yourself on. Beyond that, nothing, an utter void on the edge of space itself. Nevertheless, you put your faith into the words of your friend and attempt to fly. Hello and welcome back to the Homestuck lore series. Last week we looked into Prospect, the Light Kingdom. This week we'll be exploring its rival and counterpart, Derse. Let's begin, shall we? Derse wages an unending war against the Light Kingdom of Prospect, striving for the destruction of Skya. Derse has always been destined to defeat Prospect, forcing the players to kill the Black King on their own to prevent Skya from being destroyed. As we mentioned in the last video, Derse is a portmanteau of dearth and terse, which contrasts to the root of Prospect's name. Derse is a shadow-cloaked violet city planet that orbits Skya from far away, outside the Veil, and is connected to its single moon by a large purple chain. The planet is inhabited by black carapace citizens who resemble black chess pieces. Much like on Prospect, a series of spires exist on Derse, one for each player in a session of Spurb. The tops of these spires contain the data from pre-entry kernel sprite prototypes. As the players prototype, the spires activate and the prototypings apply to the monarchy of Derse. It is worth noting that the prototypings have a much more noticeable effect on citizens and soldiers of Derse than it does in Prospect. Derse has tabloid newspapers that regularly throw all kinds of mean-spirited slander at Prospect. Derse also has a prison system, primarily used for prisoners of war. However, according to Caliborn, Derse's form of punishment for crimes is much more severe when compared to Prospect's joke they call a slammer. This may be exclusive to his dead session, and the Alpha Kid's Derse is run by the Condes though. Jane's dad was held in a Dersite prison that could be well considered a joke. Alternatively, due to Caliborn's backward standards, such as viewing mild affection as disgusting, finding hateful and disgusting things attractive, he may have assumed that the comfortable room was torture. The moon of Derse, like Prospect's, possesses a series of towers, one for each of the dream selves of roughly half of the players in any session. The other half of dream selves reside in similar towers on the moons of Prospect. These towers contain rooms that very closely resemble the bedrooms of players in their own world, except they are largely portrayed as a single colour tone associated with that player. An interesting aside is that while Dersites are opposed to their players, there are rules against harming them before the war begins, which Dersites have a natural instinct to follow. It is suggested that even if these rules are broken, that attempting to harm them will be tricky, suggesting some sort of defense. According to Dirk, Derse dream selves are treated like team mascots, at least until open hostilities. Similar to Prospect dreamers receiving visions from Skya during a Skyne eclipse, the horror terror's intent apparently become clear to Derse dreamers during a lunar eclipse, when Derse skirts the edge of the furthest ring. The Dark Kingdom has a king and queen who rule with an iron fist. The queen has a ring of orbs to match that of her white counterpart, representing the spires on Derse. She is drastically physically affected by the prototyping of each player's kernel sprite, much to that of the White Queen. However, due to Derse's goal of destruction of Skya and distaste of any amphibious iconography related to the Genesis frog, which are then banned, any prototyping involving frogs are met with rejection by the Black Queen. Doing this will get her to remove or destroy her ring, as she is a vain being, whilst the White Queen may see it as a blessing towards her. With each additional prototyping, the bearer of the ring gains additional power, growing ever harder to defeat. Similarly, the king bears the Sceptre of Orbs. He is also affected by the player's prototyping, his physical size increasing significantly and his form mutating with each prototype. The Black Queen resides within the halls of Derse, overseeing administrative and political duties, whilst the Black King fights the perpetual war against Prospect off-planet in the thick of the battlefield. It is here that he will strike down the King of Prospect, only for, in his moment of triumph, the players of the session to arrive and, with luck, whip his final boss-shaped arse into the bedrock of Skya and save the day. If they fail, then Skya falls for good, destroyed by the power of the Dark Kingdom, the prize of a new world lost forever. Taking down the Black Queen is not compulsory, but can aid the players by throwing extra disorder into her ranks of Dersites, making their lives a bit easier and perhaps acquiring her ring for shenanigans. The other significant beings of Derse are the agents. Unlike Prospect's army, Derse employs a number of specialists to fulfill tactical, structural and combat roles in their government. They are in many ways the Black Queen's secret police, with all the paperwork that comes with such a role. An agent is a relatively high-ranking member of the Dark Kingdom, who has a wide range of different duties. Some work as authority regulators, often known as a police officer who writes tickets. Others clearly work as the muscle for the place, around when the boss needs someone punched. They work under the control of the Archagent. The Archagent is the highest-ranking officer who is in charge of the most tedious paperwork, for example, handling parking tickets and illegal parcels. He commands the various agents and underlings and surveils the infosphere in his 3x4 cubicle of vigilance, with the fourth frame having been stolen with something with very green text. Jack Noir is the only known Archagent and implied to be the only Dursite to hold the rank, as he is known to be a fixed character across most sessions of the game, like the Monarchy. Across Derse, the special status as an agent is denoted by a symbol on their clothes, usually a simple pentagon. Jack Noir and his close circle of agents have the 4 suits of cards, a symbol instead, which leads to the wider role in the series and wider MSPA creative works by Hussey as the Midnight Crew. And with that we come to the end of Tour of Derse, but not the end of the wider look of the Insifosphere and its bodies. Until then, do like the sub, maybe drop a comment below about which type of dreamer you think you are. Until the next one, I have been the Gods. See you!